This video releases on the 3rd of March, exactly 8 long years after the original Switch's release. 2017, the only year free of widespread misinformation in the Nintendo scene. The Switch just released, and for a brief moment, everybody seemed content, featuring a game in each of the major niches, with Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, ARMS, Xenoblade 2, and a few others. After the colossal failure of the Wii U, the now small fanbase began to grow, and Nintendo slowly returned to their former glory. But as the fanbase grew, so did interest. And in the online space, interest equates to money. 2018. After extensive research on the dreaded page 2 of Google, I found the first hints of a Switch Pro leak. Well, not particularly believable, and with the knowledge now that they were not true. A rumoured new model of the Switch was set to be released during 2019 from The Classic, a Chinese accessory manufacturer.
A Nintendo Switch Pro is not only real, but coming in about the middle part of 2019.
While it could be argued that the leak was referring to the Switch Lite, which released in September 2019, it seems more likely to be a bit of a lucky guess, because it made claims like having an OLED screen, a new dock, a better stand. Wait a second. Yeah, I was surprised too. They literally predicted the OLED model like 3 years early. Nevertheless, it was a complete fluke. Probably. 2019, the year where leaks took off, and to be honest, since then they've never really died down. In December of 2019, the sequel to the processors called the Tegra line from Nvidia was announced. While this may seem insignificant, note that the processor of the Switch is from that Tegra line, meaning that it would be highly likely for the Switch Pro/2 to use one of these chips. Though this isn't exactly a leak, it called for mass speculation and a plethora of false leakers. Though I'm trying to be as in-depth about the leaks of each year, know that from this point onwards, places like Twitter and Reddit were filled with nonsensical leaks each day, which, unless I talk about them, are complete bollocks. 2020. During lockdown, Switch Pro rumors reached an all-time high, because Animal Crossing wasn't enough to shut them all up. When you look back, the inaccuracy of all these leaks really gives you a perspective on how often you should believe these things. Like, in the entire 4 years that I've researched so far, like 3 of them were real, and even then they were just leaking the Switch Lite a few weeks before its launch, and they couldn't really say anything apart from it's just not dockable. Here's a quote from IGN from January 7th, 2020. According to sources from a supply chain company, the Taiwanese website DigiTimes reports that a new Switch model will enter mass production in Q1 2020 for a mid-2020 release. These reports coincide with analyst predictions that a Switch Pro model will be released later this year. This had no legitimacy. 2021. This was one of the slowest years for the Switch, probably due to the prolonged effects of lockdown. This was the year that Switch Pro leaks slowly started to transform into Switch 2 leaks. This year, a very clear leak of the new chip from Nvidia was released, and Twitter essentially convinced themselves that Nintendo would definitely use a variant of this for the Switch 2. A random assortment of leaks were scattered around this year, all of which were false. For example, a dual screen leak, 4K 60 capabilities, and even a 2022 release date. And a lot of people began to think that Tears of the Kingdom would be released with the new console, which we now know is not true. Of course, when the OLED was revealed, the leakers told everybody that this was in fact what they had meant, and must have got something wrong. Typical. 2022. Again, the record of Switch 2 rumors was broken in 2022, and to prove the ease of a fake leak, YouTuber John Cartwright created an entire account called Waddle Dee Knows, which gained a significant amount of traction by using a method of uploading a bunch of private predictions to Twitter and publicizing the ones that came true. It's safe to say that it works, and he got a damn good video out of it, so if you're interested, go check that out on his channel after you watch this. 2023. By watching this video, you're probably somewhat in the Nintendo community. So when I say the name Puro, what comes to your mind? You probably get flashbacks. To this day, Puro is the most reliable Nintendo leaker of all time, and Nintendo's #1 enemy. When Puro said something, it would happen. There was no question. It just would. And so 2023 leaks were almost entirely carried by the Red Bird, as he was able to confirm or deny whether other leaks were real or not. And Puro is still around even in 2025, but last year he made a massive mistake of revealing his primary source to a reporter, losing a lot of his contacts and a way for Nintendo to block his access to their data. This caused him to lock his account on Twitter, though he tends to leak things from time to time on less of a scale, but always 100% reliable. 2025 is here. There's about a 50-50 chance the Switch 2 will be announced by the time this video comes out. Right now as I write this script, we basically know what it looks like. An accessory company called Genki brought a Switch 2 replica to an event called CES, which led to lots of controversy and Nintendo issuing a statement saying that it was not real. New photos seem to appear every day, and you can even pre-order accessories for the console, which hasn't even been revealed yet. So now that you're updated with the major leaks since 2017, I'd like to put them to the test. How accurate can I predict the Switch 2 based off of these leaks? Because I've done quite a lot of research for this video, and you can judge it because you probably know what it looks like, or you will very soon. And forgive me for not looking at the camera because I have to look at my notes for this. I think it will have magnetic Joy-Cons with white and black variants. The shell of the actual Switch will also vary between black and white, though the bottom of the joysticks will have red and blue colours. The general shape will be the same, but it will have a larger body and more rounded edges. The logo will be the same, just with the added 2, and the animation will be the Switch logo and the 2 magnetically coming together. There will be a charging slot on the bottom and top, and you'll be able to plug in a mouse. You'll also be able to put the Joy-Con on its side and use it like a mouse, and it will come with a special holder to make it more comfortable. This can be used in games and in a browser, which will be on the new Switch. It will be backwards compatible both digitally and physically, using the same slot for both Switch 1 and Switch 2 cartridges. And that's my prediction based off of everything. Let me know how accurate it is in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!